Thanks for your support as channel member, Callum! After our double points finish in the last episode at Monaco, the points at AHGP are starting to stack up, and there's an extra opportunity to score some more today with a sprint weekend in Canada. Hello folks, and welcome to a brand new episode of F1 Manager Create A Team here with AHGP. We're gearing up for the first sprint race weekend of the season at the Circuit de Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. A real favourite of mine, and back in the day it used to be carnage every year. Nowadays a bit less so, although 2024's race was pretty exciting. And obviously we're coming off the back of a double point score in Monaco with Paul Aron and Fred Vesti, and we got a point in the last race in Barcelona, which I played off camera. So just to update you on what happened in that race, we had some new side pods, and then we went on to have our best ever qualifying session, surprising myself by getting into Q3 with both cars. They were 9th and 10th, and we just did one run on used soft tyres to save a set for the Grand Prix. And well, Fred had a tricky race. He made a mistake and fell down to 12th at the flag, but Paul Aron managed to make this overtake on Daniel Ricciardo on the final lap to score P10 and a second consecutive point score for the Estonian driver. And that brings us to Montreal. Now, before we get stuck into the race weekend, we do have some contract renewing to do. So Callum Williams, our name in the game race engineer for Fred Vesti, is out of contract at the end of the season. We can't do it now because he's occupied with the current race weekend. Well, we'll just have to do that off camera then, I suppose. Yeah, what's the situation with everything else? Paul's Potato won a sprint race in Formula 2. He's now on 24 points. And I believe Justin... Oh, I thought he'd score points. No, he is currently bottom of the standings, which is kind of sad. Come on, Justin, you need to score some points, mate. You need to score some points. But yeah, so it was in Spain. It was in the sprint race. So yeah, Paul's Potato winning the sprint race. Although everyone was plus 11 laps. Don't know what that means, but anyway. So yeah, Paul's Potato doing all right in Formula 2, and our race drivers doing pretty well too. So we're on to 14 points in the Constructors' Championship, and Fred Vesti has 12 points. Paul Aron has 2 points in the drivers' standings. So yeah, definitely a chance to add some more this weekend. How's our car looking in terms of competitiveness? 11th. So sprint points probably out of the question, but Grand Prix points definitely a possibility. And it's set to rain on race day, so yeah, that should be fun. I'm going to get to practice, and we'll get ourselves sorted for qualifying, for sprint qualifying, and then we'll do the sprint. I probably won't show you sprint qualifying. I'll just show you the sprint, then normal qualifying, and the Grand Prix. So yeah, lots to do today. Let's get stuck into it. Here we go then for the sprint in Canada. We're starting on medium tyres as we get 5 red lights. The lights are out. The sprint is on. And Fred Vesti going from 13th, Paul Aron starting from 12th. They've just swapped positions as Fred makes a really good start to this sprint, and we will file through the first couple of corners. We are side by side with our drivers, which is actually good. They're both getting about the maximum out of the car, and they're fairly well matched, it would seem. So 12th and 13th as we start, and there's a few other people joining us on the medium tyre strategy, Behrman and Sonoda. So the soft tyres will get you to the end, but you will have to manage them. So we are taking the longer term approach to this race. Hopefully everyone's soft tyres start falling apart halfway through, and we can come through and maybe pick up maybe a point. But obviously it's only the top 8 that score points in the sprint, so I don't even know why we bother. Right, we have made a bit of progress. We've latched onto the back of Daniel Ricciardo and breezed by with Paul Aron. And so has Fred Vesti. Look at that, that's a great shot from behind. Amazing scenes here for AHGP. Just the pair of our drivers blasting past the Aston Martin. We have underfueled a little bit and we're starting to conserve that fuel. We do need to close in on Alex Albon, who is 10th. But then if we can reach that, that's a DRS train that goes all the way up to Lando Norris, who is dropping back from his own teammate. So Lando not having his best race. So let's see if we can close the gap actually. Let's go balanced on the fuel. Hopefully we can recover the fuel later on in the race and maybe pick up at least a point. We've got a red flag. Lando Norris, I think, has been murdered by... Oh, hello Aston Martin. What an accident that is.
A guy turning into me. Makes sense.
You didn't turn into... But that actually promotes us into the points at the moment. And obviously the race is going to be stopped. It'll solve our fuel issues. Session starts in 40 seconds. Wow. So I think what we do is we put on a set of softs. And then I think everyone else will be maybe on their used softs or fresh softs. So at least we'll be in there. So we are now 7th and 10th, I would say, with our drivers. Oh, what's going on? We've just skipped the restart. And we are 7th and 10th. Okay, so let's get back up to speed. That was a literally flying start. What has everyone done tyre-wise? We'll check that out in a minute. We'll get Fred attacking on his tyres. So we're challenging Lewis Hamilton. Everyone's put fresh softs on. Very dramatic, this sprint. And Vesti having a look round the outside of Ricciardo. Can he get P9? Yes, he can. Come on. Are we going to get double points in the sprint here? And Paul Aaron is all over the back of a Ferrari. We're actually fighting a Ferrari for position. This is just fantastic. We've got a few laps remaining. We've got yellow flags. Liam Lawson looks like he's gone off the road. He's had a lock-up. And yeah, we are absolutely on it in this race. And Fred Vesti is now up into the points as well. Beautiful stuff. Paul Aaron is chasing Hamilton and Russell. Oh, Fred Vesti's just had a spin and blown his chances of points. He was doing very, very well. He was in a fight with Alex Albon, but this spin has cost us at least a point. Ah, that's really annoying. And he's just sat on the outside of the corner waiting for a gap to do like a little flick spin. Disappointing for the crew in the pit lane, but Paul Aaron remains in this fight. Yes, this is George Russell, Oscar Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, Lewis Hamilton and Paul Aaron. We've got 3 laps to go. We will probably just be alright finishing where we are, to be honest. We're 4 seconds clear of Ricciardo. So if we can just hang on with this lot. I mean, Tsunoda's got a technical fault, so that's why he's slow. And that's what's bunching this lot up. So if we can just stick with them, we might be able to snatch a couple of extra points on the final lap. Right, here we go. Final lap of the sprint. We are on the tail of Lewis Hamilton. We haven't been able to find a way past, but we are deploying everything. We're attacking on the tyres, and we're going for it. Oh, is he up the inside? He was having a look. No way through there past Lewis Hamilton. Maybe into the hairpin. Nope. Not happening today. So I think we're just going to have to settle for P7 in the sprint, which, do you know what? I will very gladly take that. Paul Aaron picks up 2 more points. Fabulous stuff. Get in.
So you take the flag.
Vesti's coming home, hopefully 15th. Maybe not. Oh no, he will. Just about.
A really great drive.
I echo those thoughts, Bono. Very good drive from Paul Aaron. So there you go. There's your sprint result. Max Verstappen pips Charles Leclerc. George Russell moves up from 9th to 3rd. Piastri moves forward. Tsunoda and Hamilton, the 4 guys in the top 10 other than this trio. Pourchaire probably has a grid drop. Wouldn't be surprised if he does, but because he absolutely took out Antonelli and Norris. Fred Vesti could have had a point, didn't, but Paul Aaron picked up 2 for us, so that is yeah, job well done, I think. We have had an absolute shocker in qualifying 1. I genuinely thought we had enough pace to get through, and we probably do, but traffic has killed us. Fred Vesti will start the Canadian Grand Prix last, Paul Aaron 17th. We did a lap towards the end, and we got completely blocked on the exit of turn 2 by Kimi Antonelli. Just so annoying, so frustrating. I'm actually really annoyed. Genuinely, like, we have the pace to be in Q2. We showed that in the sprint quali. Lots of work to do in the race. We could have a very exciting race on our hands here. It's going to get wet pretty early in the Grand Prix, so it's going to be a slick start. Then we're going to need some inters, and then we're going to go back to slicks from about lap 40 onwards. I've opted for mediums. The game suggested hards, so we'll be hopefully quicker towards the end of the race as well. I've underfueled as much as I possibly can because we've got a nice wet period in which we can recover all of that fuel. So let's hope we have as much drama and chaos as we did in the sprint, because we're going to need it starting 17th and 21st. I think maybe Behrman has a penalty and is behind us, possibly, if I remember from the last race. So yeah, let's get this race underway. It'll be interesting to see if anyone starts on inters, because the race is coming, the rain is coming so early. Let's wait and see. Have I done everything? I think I have. Yep, right. Let's get this motor race underway. Sun shines for now, and we're looking for 4 and 5 bright red lights. The lights are out, the race is on. Let's check in with our boys at the back. Where are they? Echoes of season 1, and what is going on here? Why is everybody so slow? Why are we so... Oh wow, there's 2 drivers on inters. The 2 Red Bulls are on inters. What is going on? What have they done? It's shafted us. We're now 20th and 21st, although we've just passed Verstappen. Sonoda's just up the road, and we'll have him as well. What on earth have Red Bull done? They have put both their drivers on intermediate tyres at the start. This is actually ridiculous. Let's see, can we get a nice shot of that? There you go. Max Verstappen, intermediate tyres at the start. Sonoda, what are you up to? There we go. Right, let's crack on and get away from them and put them completely in the mud. Alright, that rain has arrived. We're still attacking on the tyres. We are 20... Well, Verstappen is 20 seconds almost behind Bottas. Paul Aaron is now up to 14th place. Fred Vesti has progressed only as far as 18th. So, Paul Aaron going for the lunge down the inside. They're all converging at the hairpin. And Paul Aaron moves himself up into 13th place. Good from him. Fred Vesti needs to get a bit of a wriggle on, though, as George Russell takes the lead. He's fighting his former teammate, Lewis Hamilton, for the leader of the race, and Lewis Hamilton retakes it with DRS. We are on the back of Kimi Antonelli, who obviously destroyed Pourchaire and Norris, or it was destroyed by Pourchaire and also then Norris in the sprint, but absolutely killed our qualifying. So let's get ahead of him and get some payback. The rain level is rising and drivers are starting to pit. So my thoughts of pitting this lap are echoed completely by the AI. In they come. What's Esteban Ocon doing in 8th place? I don't like that. Everyone diving in. This could be absolutely the perfect moment to be in the pit lane, and our drivers aren't that far apart, but you might as well double stack. You lose more time with dry tyres on a wet track than you would on anything else, and we're getting completely held up here for every... Oh, there we go. We pop back out behind Antonelli. Where's Fred? Come on. There we go. He gets out. Right, where are the Red Bulls? They're still not past us. that strategy really hasn't paid off for them. Don't usually get much action in the wet. It's usually just sort of a train, but Paul Aron's made a mockery of that, and he's overtaken Pierre Gasly. Nice. And Vesti is now ahead of Verstappen, whose Inters are obviously ruined. Oh, there's the Red Bull on the inside through the final chicane, and we've got the better traction, and we move into 19th place. Fred not having a good weekend, but there's still time for it to change. Still plenty of time for drama and chaos.
And just keep talking to us about the track condition.
Track is now dry, according to the game, which means DRS is active.
Top of the management.
We are chasing Kimi Antonelli, so I'm going to deploy the battery so we can try and get past. But he's also going to have DRS on Sainz, and that's Zhou. We've moved into 10th place. We passed Antonelli. Oh, yes! Go Paul Aron into the points. It's all happening very quickly. We're round the outside of Zhou. He's got a mechanical problem, but it doesn't matter. We're into P9 and on the back of Sainz for 8th.
P9.
Paul Aron is absolutely flying. And he's passed him. It's a done deal already. The rain is starting to pick back up. DRS wide open. And we just ease our way through in the middle sector. Rain's still falling. And we are climbing the order. We're now P8. We are 5 seconds behind Piastri, but that's fine. P8 would be wonderful. The rain is starting to get heavier, and we've spent the last few laps battling it out with Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes. We pulled away from Zhou Guanyu's V-carb, and Fred Vesti is now trying to close in on the Chinese driver as well. What we do need to remember is our fuel level. We're not recovering as much fuel as I necessarily would like, so I'm just going to conserve a little bit. We might drop a position to Antonelli. We are closing in on Zhou, so there's a potential double points finish available to us, although Verstappen is definitely hunting us down, although those intermediates aren't going to last too much longer. Red Bull tried to play a genius strategy, and it's blown up in their faces, which is fantastic. I don't like the fact that he's just a second behind Vesti, but Fred is closing in on Zhou, and we'll soon have both cars in the points. Fred Vesti had got himself into P10, but he's just... Oh, we've missed the replay. He's now dropped out of the points. Verstappen has come through, and his Inters are going to make it to the point where it dries up again. If it wants to show me, there we go. It is going to dry up slowly until about lap 40, according to our data. We have dropped 3 seconds behind Antonelli. Verstappen will be closing us down as well. Vesti also saving fuel, so that is kind of our issue now. We've massively underfueled and not recovered enough to this point to really make it feasible to get to the end, so we're going to be hamstrung in that respect with our pace. Right, the track is about to be officially dry. I'm going to take a bit of a risk here. We're going to bring Fred in. We've not got much choice. We could put him on the mediums, or we could we put him on the hards. I'm going to put him on the mediums actually, because I'm going to anticipate a safety car. We won't be aggressive on them. Just going to make sure they're fresh ones. They are indeed. So we won't go aggressive on them the whole way through, but hopefully, because the track is about to go to dry, there we go.
So just keep talking.
This will be the moment to get on to slick tyres, and then we'll be able to maybe undercut Verstappen, or at least bring him closer. Hopefully we get a good stop. We do. 2.4 second stop. I've called Paul Aron to the box as well. We've got the option to delay that should we need to. Let's get the tyres up to temperature and see if this strategy can play out well for us. Paul Aron's in as well. Sonoda's technical fault is looking terminal for him. How's our stop going? 2.25 seconds. Lovely, lovely stuff. Verstappen has just come in as well. Here comes Fred Vesti. Is he going to be ahead of the reigning world champion? No, he's not even going to be close. It's not even close. So that's a shame. But that was absolutely the right moment to get onto the slick tyres. Some drivers haven't stopped yet. So Paul Aaron could be well into the points by the time this all shakes out. Let's deploy the battery, get the tyres up to temperature. The mediums will go the distance. And there's a number of drivers who are on inters who will now need to go into the pit lane. Mixture of mediums and hards. Very interesting. Verstappen, one of those on hards. He's right behind us and is probably about to overtake us. Hamilton is in the pit lane now. Is he going to retain the lead? I doubt it.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Copy.
There goes Max Verstappen breezing by on his hard tyres. Red Bull have put themselves in a tricky situation. They locked out the front row and really they should be winning this race, but they're not going to. We've got yellow flags. Zhou has gone off and that doesn't really help us, but we are 10th and 11th, so we should hopefully bring home a point in this race. 21 laps to go. We are saving fuel gradually. We're still 10th and 11th, separated by 10 seconds. We're extending our gap over Perez. But what will definitely help us is the fact that the leaders are coming up to lap us. So that means we won't have to save quite as much fuel to get to the end, because we'll obviously be a lap short on actual race distance rather than fuel. So we should be actually all right. We're nearly 15 seconds behind Antonelli, but that's fine. Sonoda's in the pit lane. He's retired. And that's why we're getting a point, and none of the other teams that are behind us will. So VCarb, Williams, Alpine, Sauber and Haas can all suck it. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. So through the sequence of being lapped, Fred Vesti has lost several seconds to Sergio Perez. We've just lapped Liam Lawson. We've got DRS, so we might be able to pull away from the VCarb here, but it's definitely a problem, because I wanted to finish 11th with Fred, but we are still 15 seconds behind Paul Aaron in the other AHGP car, who is similarly ahead of a VCarb, but that is Zhou Guanyu, who he has just lapped. So that's not a threat. Oh, we've had a collision. I think we've been bumped by Sergio Perez. Here we go. We're making the overtake. And, oh, they bang wheels. Slightly off the track for Fred.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable, mate. It's your terrible driving that's caused that. Showing that Sergio Perez truly is washed. It's damaged our tyres. Perez has... Does he have wing damage? I think he does. So that's his comeuppance. But he's got a time penalty as well. Fantastic. So we don't have to worry about trying to actually overtake him to regain 11th place. Well done, stewards. The leaders have just started their final lap, and Alex Albon has come through to get himself into 11th place, which I'm not a fan of. So we would like to re-overtake him, please, Mr. Vesti. Albon actually defending very hard down the back straight. Can we find... Look at the line we've just taken into the final chicane. That was dreadful from both drivers. Here we go, DRS. Can we sneak up the inside into turn one? Not quite. But Paul Aaron is on it. What is now his final lap, I believe. And George Russell is now leading the race. It's 2 wide Ferraris into the final corner. Who is going to come out on top in this? Can Hamilton do anything about his teammate and his old teammate in front? Leclerc has DRS, so I don't think Hamilton's going to be the race winner. But can they? Oh, Russell defending hard. Leclerc moving to the outside. Charles Leclerc goes off the track, and George Russell is going to win the Canadian Grand Prix. Look at that. What a finish. George Russell wins. Paul Aaron coming home for his 3rd straight Grand Prix points finish. His 4th points finish in
So we have
races, including the sprint. So that is a really good weekend from him. Oh, we forgot to deploy battery with Fred. We were too busy watching the lead fight. Doesn't matter. P12 gets as many points as P11. So it doesn't really matter at all. Fred's already got 12 points this season. So doesn't matter. Paul Aaron though, absolute hero. That's 3 points across the weekend, and that will do very nicely. So more yummy points for AHGP, and that moves us, well, it doesn't really move us anywhere because Aston Martin pulled away from us. They've got a lot more points than we do now, but Paul Aaron moves into 12th in the Drivers' Championship this season, ahead of Carlos Sainz, thanks to his 7th place in the sprint and 10th place in the Grand Prix. In the Constructors, we are now 14 points clear of Williams, and we are genuinely miles behind Aston Martin in terms of points. So we'll be finishing 6th unless Williams build an actual rocket ship for the rest of the season, or one of this lot does the same. But yeah, it's just about locking down P6 now, and then making sure that we have a really good car to start season 3 with, when there's a big rule change, and we're hoping to be somewhere around these guys in like 4th and 5th, and then we can keep moving forwards. Oh, pit stops. We were 4th with Paul Aaron. Fred's 2.5, I think, didn't make the grade, but we stay. We lose some ground to McLaren, but we are still 20 points clear of them in that competition, so that's good. Yeah, we smashed our sponsor targets. Excellent. We had to pay out 50 grand for Paul Aaron's 10th place, but that's all fine. So another fruitful weekend for AHGP. Those points really are starting to add up, but like I said, I don't think we'll be any higher than 6th unless Aston Martin or Mercedes have an actual disaster and we pick up several podiums. I don't think we're going to be catching them, but that's another really, really good race. We'll be back for the British Grand Prix, which is also a sprint weekend. So I'll play Austria off camera and I'll come back to you for Silverstone. If you enjoyed this video, leave a nice big thumbs up on it for me. Subscribe for more F1 Manager content, and I'll see you next time. You're the best fans. Bye for now. We'll be right back.